Hoot, and I'm back again with another movie review. Last night was the premiere of the Hallmark presentation. Yes, I know, Peanut, I love you too. He's on my lap, purring. Of The Lost Valentine, starring Betty White and Jennifer Love Hewitt. And it was the story of a woman who had come back to Union Station to wait for her love to return from Second World War. Of course, in the duration of the film, she had gotten the dreaded telegram that everyone just feared from the Western Union, saying that her husband was MIA. And it was very heartrending to me because my uncle was involved in both Normandy and Okinawa. He went on an LST. We have his journals. Of course, unfortunately, my Uncle Hugh committed suicide because he couldn't handle it. Well, of course, the letter, the coroner's note said suicide. I think it was accidental, but war is hell. What are you gonna do? It's just awful. There's nothing glorious about war, no matter what time period it's in, but that's another story for another time. But anyway, going back to my original topic. He is MIA, and she still comes every Valentine's Day to the train station and waits for him there. Of course, her name is Caroline, and the name of the Navy fellow is Neil, and their love, I thought, was just absolutely remarkable and beautiful. It reminded me of Bright Star, the love between Fanny and Byron. I think it was Byron. Of course, I could be wrong. It's been a while since I've seen that movie, so I might be incorrect in my facts on that, but it's very similar to that. And personally, I thought the movie was very touching and very heart-rending in many scenes, because Jennifer Love Hewitt's character, Susan, she meets Caroline and she starts interviewing her about this absolutely spectacular love story between Caroline and Neil. And she's been forever faithful in holding on to his memory and holding on to his letters, and she, of course, is proposed to by Andrew, one of her longtime friends, and, well, he's her significant other, and he works with her, and he proposes to her in front of his friends, and of course she takes that the wrong way, and she accuses him of never being there for her, and he's always off on assignment in some foreign country, and she just doesn't think that such a relationship will work. But she's probably right, because long distance relationships are really difficult, and I can tell you that from experience. Trust me, they are. And she still has lingering feelings for Caroline's grandson, Lucas, whom she just meets him out of pure convenience, I thought. But actually, I felt that it was one of those fairy tale moments that you don't often see in real time or in real life. And I like what Caroline said, and I've think it was really striking to me. And she said, you've got to seize the moment for what it is. You've got to savor every single moment and realize that everything happens in real time. And I thought, that is really profound, because they do. Whether what occurs we accept or reject, moments happen in real time. And I think that there was a lot of depth to that particular statement and had so much wisdom to it. And I'm really happy that I saw that, because I take every moment for what it is, and just take one step at a time. Just embracing the serenity prayer, because it's been my main crutch, especially in this month, because this month has been challenging for me since I have been missing my mother, and there have been some days that I've felt kind of lonely. That's probably just the weather, but despite that, I can say that thanks to this film, I've learned a lot about the true nature of love. And then I thought to myself, what would it be next? It's going to happen to me. I know it will. It's just probably going to take a little bit longer than the average Jane for it to actually happen. But I know it's going to happen. I intend for this to happen. And it's not always easy, but Lost Valentine really made me see that the true love is definitely worth it, and it can happen. And most of the time through the film, I was crying like a baby. I admit to that. I'm very soft-hearted, and seeing something like this just made me bawl. I even cried myself to sleep. So, it's a very good film. I give it 4 stars. I think it's just gorgeous, and especially in everything, just the whole setting, and it taking place during one of my favorite periods of time, World War II, and just showing the war for what it was, patriotic, and as fantastic as a lot of people believe that World War II was when they were supporting the effort behind the scenes. As I stated before in the very beginning of this review, war is hell. There is nothing beautiful about it, no matter what time period it's in. It's hard for everybody involved, and it hurts everybody involved. And at this time, women were getting married because they wanted to hold on to whatever they could before their husbands were shipped out and sent to Manila or wherever. It was very difficult for them. And this doesn't sugarcoat that fact. It shows it for what it is, and I appreciate that, because that is absolute truth. And I know this from what I have read and what I've heard from war veterans' wives whose husbands have died, and from those few veterans who are dying now, and their stories, and from my Uncle Jack, who is genuine in the side of his story, the losing side. It's not good for anyone. Don't believe what everybody else says. It's not good for anyone. But in the end, actually, I'm not going to tell you the end, because you're going to have to watch it yourself. But just remember, you're going to need your Kleenex, because this is a real tearjerker. But it is definitely one of the best love stories I've seen in a long time. And Hallmark, they have such a magnificent way of portraying things like this. They are very talented, and I also liked the religious message in it. They didn't push it, but I also thought that was appropriate. So, with that, I leave you with Caroline's thought, and I just thought that it was the best line in the whole film. She says, you have to make use of every moment. Events happen in real time, Susan, and you have to embrace them.